Tommy Robinson supporters are marching from Victoria Railway Station to Parliament. Our reporter Shivani Sharma is on the scene. Shivani, what is going on?
Well, Ali, they've now arrived at Parliament Square. Stephen Yaxley-Lennon, Tommy Robinson, as he's better known, might not be physically present here today at the protest, but that hasn't deterred thousands of his supporters from turning up to this protest organised in his name. Slow marching to Parliament, where speakers and performers are starting to take to the stage. Protesters draped in St George's flags and Union Jack flags with a real mix of signs I can see. Placards of Bring Back Rwanda, Make Britain Great Again, Lest We Forget, written across them. Lots of chants too of Stop the Boats and chants calling for Robinson to be freed, referencing of course the fact that the far-right activist is currently being held in remand for contempt of court. Now, he was of course wanting people still to turn up here today to this protest, Ali. He says it's been dubbed Uniting the Kingdom, people marching over their grievances with the Prime Minister and how the riots were held and handled over the summer, the fact that lots of people are still imprisoned because of them. But Robinson has told protesters here to be peaceful, a message which has been reiterated by one of the organisers, Liam Tufts, who's also here today.
And I'm just going to keep encouraging people to stay calm, don't react to the provocation, because that will be taking place. There's going to be people purposely placed in disguise to get a reaction, and the name of the game is to be the bigger person.
Now, we have no evidence that there is anyone stationed in disguise to provoke violence, but the Met Police is preparing for all possible eventualities, especially with a counter-protest taking place just a few metres away. There's a clear visible presence of the police today. They're working with the British Transport Police and other forces outside of London. I'm looking at some roads that have been cordoned off by the police. Lots of visibility amongst officers as well. They've said their aim is to keep the different protests apart, conscious, of course, of wanting to avoid the kinds of outbreaks of violence that we saw during those summer riots.
Thank you very much indeed, Shivani. Keep your ear to the ground. Also joining me is George Ellison, LBC's reporter, who's at the counter-protest in Haymarket. What's the scene there, George?
Well, there's, as Shivani says, another large police presence here, obviously keeping both sides separated. A lot of the work on security looks like it's being done by stewards predominantly that have been sort of brought by the protesters as we very slowly make our way down Haymarket. But again, police blocking off roads, mounted police. And the message really from here is, you know, I'm seeing banners of Stand Up to Racism, a variety of different issues coming together in these, as these protests often do. It's a coalition of left-leaning voices. So there's flags of Palestine, flags of, I think I can say a Cuban flag. You know, it's a very diverse group, and to be honest with you, a very friendly atmosphere at the moment. And the message is, you know, that the far right protest won't divide Britain, and that's what Jeremy Corbyn, former Labour leader, told LBC after giving a speech to the crowd.
We've had 15 years of austerity, which has created poverty, unemployment, division, and low wages. What we need is something different. The far right don't offer anything other than hatred of minorities. We rely on migrant workers to produce so much of our goods and our services, and we today here, thousands and thousands of us are saying we want to live in a united country.
Well, we're just about to turn on to Pall Mall, where the protest will continue. I've been speaking to a variety of marchers here today as well, and they echo the sentiments. You know, a lot of fear, especially from some of the older people that I've spoken to, that, you know, that they've seen a lot in their lifetime, and this has been, you know, the last summer has been pretty concerning. These marchers told me why they were so moved to turn up.
It makes your toes curl. They have no respect for anybody. You know, refugees are human beings. They're in need. And these people just, I don't know, they treat them like animals.
This kind of false idea of what refugees are doing here, it's just xenophobic, it's just horrible. And they seem to be getting stronger and stronger, and we have to stand up against them, I think.
This is a very serious time. I don't know if it's absolutely the worst, but it's approaching that, I think.
Well, the hope, again, from both sides is, this day passes without incident. And as Shivani and I both said, police are doing a good job at sort of keeping tempers low. And we'll continue to follow throughout the day.
Well, thank you very much indeed, George. And indeed, let's hope that those protests go off in a peaceful manner. Clearly, very important in a democratic society that people with different views can express those views, but do so in an absolutely peaceful manner in accordance with the law.